Everybody, today is Monday, August 29th, and it's about like 9 o'clock in Santan, Arizona, and I thought I'd just give you a quick garden update. It's been quite a while. Had to do quite a bit of work. I worked during the summers, and I was unable to do much work in the garden during that time, and everything got overgrown, and so I've been recovering from that for the last 2 weeks. But let me just give you a little update as to what's going on. So, this is my basil tree. I should say a tree. She's gotten pretty big. Nestled in there are some tomato plants. I think that's an Ace 55. There's a tomato plant right there. I believe that's a Rudiger's. And they don't look well at all. The heat this summer was terrible. We had like, I believe, 115, 120 sometimes. These are my bell pepper plants. These are actually doing really well. These have been around for, this is the third season, and they've been cut back quite a few times. And as you can see, I've got some bell peppers growing on there, so they're doing really well. I used to plant a lot of salad greens and things like that in this bed, and I think I'm pretty much just going to be planting broccoli and cauliflower. All the lettuce and stuff, we have a good farmer's market around here, and we can just get a lot better deal just buying it that way than growing it ourselves. Over here, I did have a bunch of melons and cantaloupe, and along the back I had some corn. Unfortunately, the corn experiment didn't do well. I only had, I think, 50 plants of corn along the back, and all of the corn, it grew and it did really well, but none of the actual corn cobs did really well. I guess I didn't have enough to pollinate. So these here in the front are different peppers. I've got some jalapenos, and I've got some ghost peppers, and some habaneros, I believe, and they're doing really well. I had to cut the eggplant back. My eggplants do really well out here in the heat. They got huge. We've had tons of eggplant, which is really great. I planted some other eggplant. These other ones are like big black beauties, I think they're called. And there's only actually 2 of those, and you can see they're huge. And then I planted some smaller little eggplant quite a bit later, and they just got dwarfed and didn't get a lot of sun. So everything's been trimmed back, so hopefully they'll grow a bit more. Over here, there is a tomato plant. I think that's a cherry tomato. It survived, again. Here's some, still have some celery that's kind of growing, needs to just kind of be taken out. Some onions, we've been going through and eating a ton of the onions and taking care of all those. The tomato plants, sheesh, that one got really kind of messed up from the very beginning. I don't think that one's going to live. It's pretty much going to die. The other tomato plants are doing alright. They got really sun-stroked. We got a fair amount of tomatoes off of them, but as you can see, they're doing okay. They're green, they're alive, and they're now starting to put off some new growth. We're coming into the better time of our year to start growing again. We're actually coming into our second grow season, and now's the time to start planting. So I'm going to get out here and start planting some broccoli and stuff. Just as some experiments, just to see whatever would grow here and grow pretty well. That is okra. Not a big fan of okra. Just wanted to see if it would grow or not. It does all right out here. There's some beets, and the beets got really burnt. I had to spray everything down with Neem's oil, and it got towards the very end of the Neem's oil, and it just was like sprayed out and just kind of really burnt the crap out of everything, but it's alright. The beets are fine. There's a couple tomatoes in the back there, and they too are alive, not thriving, but alive. And then one last little update here is my moringa tree is, I should call it a tree now. She's not a baby. She is huge. She's, I'd say, about 12 feet tall, and the funny thing is, she's not even a year old yet. I got her from a sprout, and pan down here, and you can see the trunk on her. Look how big that trunk is already. And See that little pot right there? That pot is what I got her in as a seedling. And there's my dog. So in October, she will be a year old. So can you believe that? And that is moringa, and that is amazing protein. So with that, guys, I will leave you on my garden update, and hope everybody's doing great, and have a great summer.